Merry meet, everybody. Well, it is that time of the year where we need to talk about Yule. Yule is the top spoke of the Pagan Wiccan Wheel of the Year concept. The Wheel of the Year was brought into neo-paganism in the 1950s and 60s thanks to the explosion of Wicca. Many neo-pagans accepted the Wheel of the Year 8 Sabbat concept, and now it is firmly a part of many traditions. But it does not mean that every tradition must follow the 8 Sabbats. If you take a Celtic tradition, you will learn that the Celts did not celebrate 8 Sabbats. They basically celebrated 4. They had recognition of, but they did not celebrate wholeheartedly the solstices and equinoxes like they did the other 4. They believed in celebrating Samhain, Imbolc, Beltane, and Lughnasadh. Those were important to them. They marked the beginning of the seasons for them. So if you follow a Celtic tradition, then the other 4 Sabbats are kind of a blank slate. You can celebrate them as you wish. You can thus incorporate other traditions from other pagan paths and create your own celebration for these 4 Sabbats, the equinoxes, and the solstices. Yule means wheel in Norse. A lot of the traditions that we get today come from the Germanic and Norse people. It was the Germans that were bringing in evergreens into their houses and decorating them. They were the ones that were building wreaths and putting them on the doors. This was symbols of everlasting life because they were the plants that stayed green all year long. This was their way to fight back, so to speak, against the death that was seemingly around them. They wanted to do everything they could to bring life back to their land. So you can incorporate all these traditions. You can even put Santa Claus on your altar if you want to. You are free to celebrate Yule as you wish. But like I said, not everybody celebrates Yule. Now, I do not celebrate Yule, and there is a strong reason why. I follow a Celtic path, and so I celebrate the main 4, as I've mentioned. The problem that I have with Yule is the concept of them saying that the sun dies and is reborn as the consort of the goddess. They have reduced the role of the sun. Now, I have recently made a video talking about how there's supposed to be a balance, a harmony between the male and female aspects. And so to take the sun and demote it to the point where it's just the consort, I think is very poor decision making, very poor concepts. Now, we understand why they did this, because there was not the science. So for a lot of people, they were thinking that the sun was dying and leaving and such. But we now know that The reason for the seasons is due to the Earth's tilt. The sun stays strong, and it is sharing time between the northern and southern hemispheres. So the sun does not die. It returns, yes, but it does not die. Due to my tradition, my personal path, I have removed the male-female issues from my path. So I have a fatherly son and an earthly mother, and they work together as equals to bring life to all parts of the earth, not just the northern hemisphere or not just the southern hemisphere, for the whole earth. And so they have to take turns and all that. And if you look at the cycle of life, things must die for new life to return. So this is a part of the cycle of life. And so with that comes the new year. And with the new year, we must think about how our lives have been and how we want them to be, to reflect back on what we need to let die of ourselves, in ourselves, to rebuild and make a brand new life. Now, how would you celebrate Yule? Well, there is the eggnog and everything on your altars. Deep greens, such as an evergreen, a pine green, candles. Yule is also known as a celebration of lights because of all the candles that are burned, during the longest night. So have candles, have some red candles on your altar, but make sure that you follow safety. Have little bowls of water underneath the candles, so in case you fall asleep, you don't burn the house down. Rosemary is good here. I have seen many recipes where they're talking about having rosemary in it. So have sprigs of rosemary along with the mistletoe, the holly, around your altar and house. And it is a time to celebrate because the sun is returning. So be happy, be merry. Okay? So everybody, I just wanted to give you my view on Yule. So everybody take care. Be at peace.